We're going to talk about the 4 items that sold on eBay yesterday. We're going to pack and ship those here. And I'm also going to talk about 3 of the better selling items from last week. Last week wasn't great for sales, but we'll get into those details. If it's your first time here though, my name is Brian and I'm a reseller. I sell on eBay in the everything category. So I sell pots, pans, tools, toys, clothing, you name it. I'm probably trying to sell it on eBay. I go to garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, all those places, and look for things to flip on eBay for a profit. So, yeah, I'm just back from a junk removal job, so I feel a little rushed because normally I'm doing this early in the day. But, yeah, I'll have that posted up on my other channel. But, I had 4 items sell on eBay yesterday. So I listed 10 new items yesterday and immediately started getting some interest in the items I listed, and then started getting sales coming in on items that were a little bit stagnant. Some that were, you know, more recent, but ended up with 4 sales yesterday. Super happy to see that. So thought we'd go ahead and pack and ship those. We're going to keep track of the profit as we go along as well. So we'll have the little profit counter up there whenever we're shipping an item, and we'll see for those 4 items what the profit looked like for yesterday. Yeah, for one day of reselling. And then we'll talk about the 3 better selling items. So from last week. Last week, I did about $453 in sales, $146 in profit, which was pre-tax profit, which was a 32% profit margin. So not a great week, really. And I blame that on myself just because I've not been listing like I should be listing and been paying attention to other stuff. So listed 10 items yesterday. I'll be listing more today. I'll be listing more tomorrow. So I'm on a little bit of a roll here to get things listed this week. Hopefully I'll meet my goal of 50 items, but we'll see. So I only got 10 yesterday, and there was a little detour in the day, but yeah. Okay, well, let's pack the first item. The first item that sold yesterday was this pair of Futters, F-U-T-T-E-R-S, clamps. They're like these little cool angle clamps. I feel like the lighting's not great over here right now, but picked these up at an estate sale on half off day. I paid $2 for the pair. These are made in England, by the way. Super cool. Paid $2 for the pair, and I'm sending them out the door for $14.89 plus shipping. And let's get a nice little box for those. This guy is going to work perfect. This little break box. Someone was saying, hey, they use a lot of these type boxes and they will turn around. You can turn them inside out. So I'm going to see, like, can I do that on this? The way they fold? They're like, hey, they turn inside out, and then it looks like a new box. Just got an eBay notification. Seller news. I'll read that later. Okay. Yeah, the person who was telling me this said they use a lot of these brake boxes for brake parts. I guess they're in the automotive business or something. I don't recall that specifically. They're like, hey, you can turn those boxes inside out, and then it looks like a new box, and wouldn't you know it, you can absolutely do that. So now it just looks like a brown box, brown shipping box. It doesn't look like a brake pad box until you open it up and it's got all the stuff inside. That's a super cool tip though. I'll put the name up here. I'm forgetting who said that, but thank you for saying that and letting me know. That's awesome. So, get a little bubble wrap on these guys right here. It's an interesting, like, angle, weird clamp thing. Didn't seem like anything I'd have a use for, so I decided not to keep them. I've got a bunch of clamps I bought at estate sales and I've kept for myself because they'll come in handy at different times. One thing that I'm supposed to do while we're remodeling our house, we're working on the kitchen now, is once we get the part we're working on done, is I'm supposed to build cabinets to go in the house, to go in the kitchen, and a kitchen island. I've installed cabinets before and an island. My wife and I did that together whenever we lived in Tulsa a long time ago. And we did the whole kitchen remodel ourselves, except the only thing we didn't do is we didn't lay the tile. And I say, this is going to sound like we did, only just a little bit, but we ripped it down to the floor joists because there was mold, and so you can see the dirt through the floor. But we had somebody else lay the tile because it was travertine, it's uneven thicknesses. And then we had, of course, professionals cut and install the countertop. We did a Carrera marble countertop. They put that in for us. Everything else, putting in the cabinets, putting in the appliances, putting in all the lighting, putting in the vent hood, all that stuff. My wife and I did that ourselves. But anyhow, so I'm going to need clamps because I'm supposed to be building some kitchen cabinets. That's going to be an adventure for sure. All right, got those guys packed up. They're pretty heavy for the size. They're, I don't know what kind of, that's not steel, it's like cast iron clamps. They're heavy. Perfect. Number one. Then let's look at the third best-selling item from last week. Third best-selling item from last week was this, I said third best-selling. I just picked out 3 items that were in the higher sales value for last week. Nothing was real high because it wasn't a great week, but were these Sunbeam dough hooks I picked up for $2 at a garage sale and sold them for $19.89 plus shipping. They had the mixer. I still have the mixer. I haven't. There's probably some parts on there even that I can sell. And they had it for $3. And I said, "Hey, do you take Venmo or something?" And she goes, "Well, maybe. What you looking at?" And I said, "Well, this mixer right here. So you got $3 on it." I said, "I got $2, like $2 in cash, so I have, but I could Venmo you." And she's like, "Nah, $2 is fine." So I was like, okay. So I was gonna pay full price, and they gave me the deal. I was happy to take it, but I paid $2 and sold them for $19.89 plus shipping. And I'll have all the math somewhere over here to show you a picture and the math on the profit. The next item that sold yesterday were these Brooks Brothers pants. I try to talk my son into keeping these, into wearing them. He would not do it at all. But they're these really like kind of powder blue chinos, but they've got lobsters all over them. Super cool pants. Brooks Brothers pants. I picked them up on half off at Goodwill for $4.25, and I sold them for $14 plus shipping. I've had those for probably, I'm going to say, somewhere between 60 and 90 days. did have a comment about being able to save on weight if you just use one bag, take them out of this bag and just put them in this bag. And I know some people do ship. I've watched them on YouTube shipping in just the clothing and throw it in one bag and send it on its way. I picked up this method whenever I was learning watching Rally Roots, and I like it just because it's an extra layer of protection. Like if this bag gets snagged or something, or then you still have some protection here. But I don't know. I like doing it this way, so that's why I do that. I will have all my packing supplies listed below. I'm not affiliated with anybody. I don't get money from any of it. I'm just showing you what I use. All right, let's look at the second bestseller, or the second item that I'm talking about from last week, are these Pampered Chef. It's like a roaster or Dutch oven dish and a pie plate that I picked up at 2 different places, 2 different Goodwills. Put them together since they were the same color, that cranberry color. Paid $15 for the set and sent them out the door for $34.42 plus shipping. I got an amazing piece of feedback. I'm gonna put a picture of it up here. It was a good description on the feedback, the way I pack the order, the way I packed the order. So yeah, it was pretty good. So you also see the math on the profit of that sale right down here below. All right, let's take a look. What sold next is a piece of cookware. This is a cool piece. Revereware. This is like first generation Revereware. I spent a lot of time looking this up because it was hard to find. Had this, you can see the metal spine very clearly through the handle. And then if you notice, you've got the 2 screws really up close right here to the handle. I was like, I haven't seen that before. And best I could tell from the research is this is like about a 1939, like first generation Revereware saucepan. Super cool piece. So I've had it listed for a long time. In fact, I did a video with this one on how to, like a how-to on packing a saucepan, and this is the one I used in the example. I sold this a week and a half ago. So not this past weekend, but the weekend before I sold it. And then the buyer, this was a funny one. The buyer canceled the order and put a note on there that said, "Wife said no." I'm like, man, he wanted this thing, and then he must have said something to his wife like, "Hey, look what I bought," and she's like, "No, don't do that." So he canceled the order. No big deal. It was still the weekend. I just gave him his money back, and away we go. So sold this guy for full price. So I've got $3.30 into it. Picked it up at a thrift store and sold it for $29.88 plus shipping. So we'll get that one wrapped up. Picked out a box for this one with something that came to me. Looks great. I did have to order some, I was out of packing paper, and somebody mentioned using Zorro. And I was trying to, I waited too long So I do have an account set up with them now, and I've got a 10% off coupon for my first order. But I was gonna run over to Walmart and buy some of this, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna see, like, can they deliver it? I was in a little bit of a hurry and I had stuff to do. And if you buy 2 packs at a time, which I usually buy 2 or 3 at a time, you get a discount. So it was already the cheapest price I could find. And then if you buy 2 packs, you get a discount, which is funny because you don't get that if you're in the store. So I got the discount and they brought it to my house and it was there in like 2 to 3 hours. So, yeah, it's a killer deal. I don't even have to go to Walmart to get my packing paper. One more. We should be good to go. I guess it's kind of the bottom of the box is what I opened whenever I open this. All right, good to go there. And then let's take a look at the best seller from last week is this Death Wish Coffee Company mug. I sold all 3 mugs within just a few days. 1 over a weekend and then 2, like, I think on Monday, the same day, which is so weird because they've been sitting, and then they just, boom, coffee mug sold, and all the Death Wish mugs. And so glad I sold it. Paid $3.50 for this mug and sold it for $34.89 plus shipping. I was telling my dad about that. He goes, "You sold a coffee mug for $35?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's not even the best one I've ever sold." I sold a Black Rifle Coffee Company mug with the cat on it for I think $50. So that was a good one too, and that one only cost me like $1.18. So, all right, here's the 4th and final item that sold yesterday on eBay. It says razor and blades, and you open the little thing, and it's a really cool like texture gold top there, and it's a Gillette, and I just dropped the razor blades. It's a Gillette razor, travel razor. Or I don't know if it's for travel, but it looks like it is. But it's got the original gold tone double-edged blades, and then the head screws on the handle there. Really cool piece. Everything works just fine. I had it all put together for the pictures. But I picked this up at an estate sale. Same one, I've talked about it a handful of times. They did a fill a basket, and the whole basket was $10. And this is one of those things. I saw it sitting there. Probably wouldn't have looked at it to buy it just normally, but my basket was full and I saw this. I was like, I opened it, I was like, what the heck? And I just bloop, dropped it in the basket, and it found its way into a spot there somewhere. So I assigned a cost of 50 cents to this. I probably don't even have 50 cents into it in reality, but I sold it for $10.89 plus shipping. Got this little flat box here. We will make this thing look, just reuse a little plastic bag that's in there. That's probably something I could have just put, you know, a little bubble wrap on and put it in a poly mailer, but, you know, I've got all these little small boxes. Might as well use them. I've got a bunch more too. This isn't, I got a bunch of these little small boxes for small stuff like that. Tape away, put my stretch wrap away. I'm done with those. No more scissors. Now we can ship them. We'll do those in reverse order since I've already got this one sitting here. Get the scale out. I always put, if you've heard this before, it probably sounds repetitive and I'm sorry, but I always put a blank shipping label on my box so I get the most accurate shipping weight possible. That is a 7-ounce box. I like that it's under 8 ounces. That's one of those breaking points where it can cost you more or less for shipping. All right, let's get the phone fired up here. Let's see, we're gonna ship it. I had it at 1 pound, which means I'm probably gonna make a little bit of money on the shipping. Since we're only at 7 ounces. 10 by 6 by 2. That's pretty close on the box size too. Yep. Buyer paid $7.31. I'm paying $4.86 because I had it at a pound. So that drop whenever you're under a pound, and especially under 8 ounces, is significant. So we're going to purchase that shipping label. Going to Jonesboro, Louisiana. Let's see. Usually it just syncs right up. I don't know why it didn't sync that time. Got to manually, there we go. Get those bad boys. There we go. Little thank you for your purchase, enjoy message there on the box. I dropped my trash. It's because my trash can's full. All right, now let's see what kind of profit we're coming into on that guy right there. Order earnings of $9.54. We have 50 cents into it, so $9.04. Let's see, what's our total revenue on that too? Kind of keep track of those and see if I can, 17, 18, 20. Revenue, profit. So it's about a 50% profit on that one. It's pretty good. All right, next we're gonna do the saucepan. See what we got going on here. £1 pound, 15 ounces, right under 2 pounds. And I had it at 3 pounds. I typically put my cookware at 3 pounds. If it's like a single saucepan, I should say. So we're at 12 by 7 by 10. So, and my dimensions are a little bit better too. So let's see what we come up with. Buyer paid $10.67 for shipping. We're paying $9.31. So make $1.36 on that one. Going to Douglas, Massachusetts. Can't say that I send a lot of stuff to Massachusetts. It's okay. Next up, we have these pants. My clothing all ships with flat rate pricing. There might be a few like super old clothing items that I had like tried to do weights and dimensions, but now I just do flat rate shipping on it depending on what type of clothing it is. Pants like these should be $9.99. I put $7.99 on these because they're not jeans. That's probably still a mistake. I'm probably gonna be pretty tight on shipping on these. But 1 pound 2 ounces. I had these at 2 pounds. Let's see, 11 by 8 by 3. Close. So buyer paid $7.99. I paid $7.36. So it makes 63 cents on those. And where are we shipping them? I've got to go back and do the profit on the saucepan. I forgot that. Salt Lake City, Utah. So we'll do the saucepan and this at the same time. This thing's being a little glitchy. All right, now I got that one down. Now let's get back into the money. See what we got going on here. All right, on that saucepan. So we had 330. We're not gonna get into that part. So total revenue on the saucepan was $29.88 and $10.67 in shipping. So we're at $39, $40, and 55 cents total. And then the order earnings were $23.33. We have $3.30 into it, so $20.03 pre-tax profit. Real close. It's about 49% profit margin. It's pretty good on that one. And then let's take a look at those pants. So $14 plus $7.99 shipping, so $21.99 in total revenue. And when I'm adding those together, so shipping is revenue because you can make money on it, you're charging for it, so it is considered revenue. So that's why I add those together, just in case anybody's wondering. Probably not, but just in case you are. So $21.99. So order earnings are $11.31. I paid $4.25. So we're making $7.06 pre-tax profit. That's about a 33% profit margin. Actually about 31.5, 32, somewhere in there. All right. And then we have the clamps. Last item to ship out today. Head over to the post office. That's funny. I think this is going to be the heaviest thing. Yeah, it beat the saucepan out by 1 ounce. This is exactly 2 pounds. Shipping label. What did I have them at as weight? I had them at 3 pounds, so at least I've got that going for me. 2 pounds. All right, let's see what we got here. 9 by 5 by 5. So the dimensions may help a little bit on label pricing as well. We'll see. Going to, where are they going to? How do you say that? Bala Cynwyd? So this is in Pennsylvania. It's 2 words. Bala, B-A-L-A. Second word, C-Y-N-W-Y-D. I don't know. There's a wash. Buyer paid $8.50. I paid $8.50. So, okay, there we go. That is the craziest city name I have ever seen. All right, that is a wrap on shipping. We got everything ready to go out the door. Put up the scale, put up our tape measure. Let's see what we got for profit on that order, particularly for the clamps. Total revenue is $14.89, $8.50 shipping, so it is $23.39. Order earnings of $11.34, and I paid $2, so $9.34 pre-tax profit. That's probably in the high 30s, maybe in the 40s. On profit margin. So let's see here, 13, 17, 29, 36, 45, and 18, 4, 9, 18, 21, 10, 11, 14, 6, 8, 10. So sales yesterday, 104.13 in revenue. Item revenue and shipping revenue combined, 104.13. Pre-tax profit, $45.47. And when we do that, we say 45.47 divided by our sales, 104.13. And we're at a 43.6, rounded up to 44% profit margin. My goal is 45% profit margin, so just missed it by a hair. Just missed it. So that's pretty good. Pretty good day yesterday. One sale came in today so far, and got a junk removal job out of the way. Got cash coming in there, so super good couple of days here. Can't complain at all. And that's it for today. If you've stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. I really do. If you have any comments at all, any questions, anything like that, leave that down in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to you. And until next time, have a great day.